Hello. Today I'm going to talk about how to write an essay. Do you ever write essays? If you are at university or if you're planning to go to university, I think essays are the usual way that people are tested in university, right? So an essay, if you don't know, is a long piece of writing, and it's usually answering a question like, what are the main reasons for English speaking in the world? And then you list three reasons. Well, I have three reasons. Blah, 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 blah. Or they ask a question like, why why should you speak English? And you come up with different answers. So it's a very academic. It's a very we use it in universities and high school, end of high school maybe. You start writing essays. As I say, it's the usual way for humanities and arts to test whether you understand something. And it's quite important to make an argument and to give evidence of what you're saying. You might think it's only useful for academics, and yeah, it is a lot. But if you can structure, if you can make an essay, then you can write about almost anything. And I was just looking, I found like a book here, You're Not So Smart. This is a book about psychology, about how we make mistakes. It's quite interesting. But I realize it's like, how many chapters? 20, 25? No, 48 chapters. Each chapter is really like a mini essay. What's the problem? Here's the problem. Here's an answer. So if you can write an essay, you can write a book about anything. So it is useful to know how to do. So how do we do it? Well, let's have a look. I've got 7 points. There's going to be more about how to write an essay, I think, in another chapter, but these are the first seven that I want to go over. First of all, number one, read and understand the prompt. This is the question that you're asked to discuss. And yes, as it says, read and try to understand what they want you to do. That's very important. If you answer the wrong question, if it's asking you about why is English important, and you write about why Japanese is important, you won't pass the test. So that's first. Second is plan, make a plan. You can start with what they call brainstorming. Brainstorming is coming up with any idea and writing it down without any structure. So if I was brainstorming about why should you learn English, I could write down, because it's good for when you go on holiday, because it's good for business, because I like to teach English and it's fun to learn English. Right? I'm just throwing down ideas, and then you try and join them and find a pattern once you have some ideas. That's one way of doing it. Number three, use and cite sources. This means in an essay, you don't just say what you think. That's okay, you say what you think, but you have to find a place where you got that from. Like if a famous person said it, then you put a reference to, as the famous person said, everybody should speak English. Winston Churchill said, blah, 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 blah. You refer to other people, not just your own opinions. That's the style. Number four, write a draft. A draft means your first version, where it may be lots of mistakes, but you just write it anyway. Number five, make a strong thesis. This is where you actually make an argument. So if it's, for example, why should you speak English, then I'm thinking about the argument and what's the strongest point. The strongest point maybe is so that you can communicate with the world. So then I have to make sure the rest of my essay somehow supports that argument. Okay, number six, respond to the prompt. It says once you have worked out any kinks in your draft, you can start writing the final draft. So again, you're just making sure that you are still answering the question, that you haven't gone off at a strange angle, that you are actually answering what you're asked to do. And after you've written your essay, finally, number seven, proofread. That means read through everything, check for mistakes. The number of students who don't check their work, they just write it and then think, okay, I'm finished. No, always leave a few minutes at the end to go through. You will find mistakes. even native speakers, especially native speakers, go through and check for mistakes. And that's my advice for writing an essay or writing anything. It could be like a blog post. If you're arguing something, that's like an essay. Anything that's not fiction, this is non-fiction. And if you know how to do it well, you'll do well at university, I promise. There's more to say about this, but this is just an introduction to it. I think there's another lesson about how to structure your essay, but these are all good points that you should bear in mind. I have some questions for you. Number one, what essays have you written? Have you read any essays? Number two, what are the hardest parts of writing an essay for you? And number three, is writing an essay the best way to learn a topic? You could write an essay about any of those questions. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. I will see you shortly. Enjoy thinking about these topics. Okay, see you.